Hello everyone, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. This time with another TSW3 news video. And hot on the trail of this week's, well, we've had two DLCs this week. We've had the West Cornwall Steam Rail Tours, of course. And we've also had from Germany the Linke Rheinstrecke route release. But that is not the only German route that is coming, because next week we are getting the Niddertalbahn, another route which has been developed by one of DTG's partner program. We'll talk about that in a minute. I just wanted to have a look through the article on Dovetail Live. You can go and find it there to read the full article. Let's have a run through where we look at the screenshots. The Niddertalbahn is coming. It's time to ditch the electrics, forget those overhead wires and rev up some engines as our German Train Sim World content goes back to the early 1990s and onto a complete diesel powered branch line. Train Sim World 3, Niddertalbahn, Bad Vilbel, Stockheim will be released on March the 23rd, so not long to go at all, is there? Says some of you may have known about Niddertalbahn for a little while. Eagle-eyed viewers may have noticed us slipping out the name of this forthcoming route last September in our Freedom Dev Diary, and we teased a little more of it during the Festival of Rail Spring Summit in February, confirming the DBBR 628.2 DMU in the process. Dedicated roadmap followers will also know that the route introduces Train Sim Germany, also known as TSG, to Train Sim World 3 as part of our ongoing partner program. So that's quite exciting, isn't it? Somebody else again coming in. I think TSG did the G6 Shunter, as I remember, which was a very, very nice loco. That is available as a DLC. You will find that was by TSG. But then to talk about the passenger trains, heading up passenger operations on the route is the DBBR 628.2 DMU, requested by much of the Train Sim World community over the years. Variants of this dependable unit, built in the 1980s, became widespread across a number of German regions during the 1990s and 2000s, including the branch line between Bad Vilbel and what was then named Stockheim. A striking white and mint green livery appears from before the reunification of Germany in 1989, adding something different to the largely red palette from other German Train Sim World routes. A simple, practical, utilitarian DMU, similar in spirit to the British Pacer units, the 628.2 can hit 120 km per hour, which is 75 miles per hour, courtesy of a turbocharged V12 diesel engine. A slower pace of life in the rural postcard-picture Hesse region brings a different style of play to this route, where punctuality is paramount to ensure trains aren't unduly held at the numerous passing loops along the single track line. Trains operate the full length of the complete branch line between Bad Vilbel and Stockheim, as well as some shorter services between intermediate stations. A total of 54 playable passenger services over a short but complete route see a timetable formed that's dependent on good timing. Not only will slow running hold up others, but arriving early will mean your train is waiting before being able to proceed on to the next section. The passenger timetable works to reflect the ebb and flow of peak and off-peak services across the route, with an hourly service worked by two trains between the hours of 0900 and 1200, after which things become busier with the introduction of a third train, having uncoupled from another. Later in the day, this third train recouples with the train it was originally attached to, bringing the service frequency back down again. The afternoon services have a bias away from Frankfurt. Between 1450 and 1716, there are no full-length services in the opposite direction from Stockheim to Bad Vilbel. Instead, trains running from Stockheim during this period terminate at Altenstadt and Heldenberg Windecken. I will get these pronunciations, I promise you, where they are held to allow the other services through. In order to keep this flow of trains moving throughout the day, some services have limited stops, thus allowing others to cross them at passing loops effectively and to keep to time. So there's going to be some challenge here, especially for me with timings, because you know what I'm like, I usually go and enjoy the route, and I don't always keep my eye on time, not at the beginning, so there is going to be some challenge there. It also tells us that players that picked up our previous German route, which was released this week, the Linker Rheinstrecke Mainz Koblenz will be able to see non-stop AI services running the BR103 and the BR110.3, and will be able to make use of the BR628.2 on the Linker Rheinstrecke through a number of playable service layers, so that's very, very nice. Now, as far as the freight trains go on this route, joining the passenger services is the BR365, which on this route features as a mainline freight locomotive, running a total of 8 services along the course of the line, collecting stock and performing light engine movements. These services are formed in parts as they often are held in order to prioritise the passenger trains. A new wagon, the ES50, makes an appearance behind the shunter, forming the sugar beet trains that were once a daily occurrence in the area until the beginning of the 1990s. Though the shunter is on the outside visually similar to the BR363, the interior of the BR365 has been modelled to reflect the condition it would have been seen in during this period. Now, during the 1990s, Germany had renewed vigour following the reunification of East and West Germany in 1989, and a World Cup victory for the national football team in 1990. Boo! Niddertalbahn, Bad Vilbel, Stockheim Cup set in 1992, a year that heard U2's Berlin recorded album A Chung Baby play endlessly across Europe, and saw a young Michael Schumacher take his first of many Formula 1 wins. The route, stations, signage and train services all reflect this period, depicting a time prior to the redevelopment of a number of the route stations and introduction of more modern DMUs. Younger players familiar with this area of Germany may not recognise names like Heldenbergen, Windecken or even the route's terminus at Stockheim, as they've since been renamed to Nidderau and Glauberg-Stockheim respectively, along with others. The sugar beet freight trains also reflect the time. These daily services, which would have moved sugar beet off the line to the sugar factory in Friedberg, came to an end at the start of the 1990s, making much of the setting of this route between Bad Vilbel and Stockheim a fitting tribute to some of the final such trains that made their way through the area. In total, 14 stations occupy what is a complete branch line along the Nidder Valley, therefore known as Niddertalbahn, which is seen at a slower pace when compared to other train sim world routes in a high level of detail. Greenery fills the wide cab window of the BR628.2 with open fields and woodland stretching to the horizon, and farmland full with crops between each of the towns and villages along the line. Along the way, players will be encouraged to collect Celtic statues, replace milk bottles, repair broken level crossing signs and put up posters. There are also some defining railway features on the route, from the first appearance of animated German semaphore signals in Train Sim World to AI services being able to recognise whistle boards and honk accordingly. This route will be available from the 23rd of March on all platforms at the usual price for a route. So there you go. So this is something to look forward to. Is this the West Somerset Railway of Germany? It's going to be nice to have a branch line. It's going to be something a little bit different to all the other German routes, isn't it? I mean, I do enjoy the German stuff, as you know. This one I'm really looking forward to for some reason. And if you're watching this video on the 17th of March, DTG will be showing off the route on their own channel tonight at 7 PM UK time. So check that out. Or if you're listening to this over the weekend, go back to Train Sim World's channel on YouTube and just watch the replay so you can see the route in action. So let me know down below what you think. Are you looking forward to this one? Did you buy the Linker Rheinstrecke? And are you buying this one as well? Or are you buying this one instead of the Linker Rheinstrecke? And if you are, why is that? Is there something that is making you gravitate towards this one and not the other one? I'm certainly looking forward to playing it, and once it is released next week, be sure to come back to the channel. We'll be playing that as a DTG ambassador. DTG will send me a key so I can show it to you on the channel, so thank you to them for that. But for now, everybody enjoy your weekend. Don't forget to give me a like. Thank you very much for that, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.